The Grimes Plantation is on the National Register of Historic Places and was the home of Civil War Major General Brian Grimes. Grimes was the last Major General commissioned in the Army of Northern Virginia. In 1867, after the war, Grimes returned to his home, this planter's estate that was begun by his grandfather in the 1790s. He lived here with his family harvesting timber and growing cotton, peanuts, and various other crops until his tragic death in 1880. Family descendants lived here until the 1930s. The home was added to and adapted over the years. A thorough rehabilitation of the Grimes Plantation buildings was completed in 2011 by Eddie and Joe Allison Smith.
When the Grimes family bought this land back in the 1790s, the area was a source of lumber, tar, turpentine, and naval supplies. This was a working estate that profited from the pine forest and the access to waterways. In the period before the Civil War, this plantation was a big cotton producer that relied on slave labor, as did much of the South agricultural economy. The buildings we've restored in the past 2 years include the main house where the Grimes family lived, the household's outbuilding, including the spring kitchen and dairy, also the slave quarters closest to the main house, and the barn and the pack house. What we did for the main house was literally take a structure that was in really a state of disrepair over the years, retrofitted numerous times, and had significant damage from those retrofits. Take everything apart, put everything back together like it originally was, including adding an original back porch, adding back original windows, etc. Went all the way through from the very top all the way down to the very bottom, including raising the house up, putting a new foundation under it, etc. What I call a slave token was found in back of a fireplace that had been boarded up. You wouldn't have paid the slaves real money back then, but you'd have paid them a token in which they could have bought provisions on the farm. That was real interesting to find that particular piece of history that had been hidden for so long. The slave quarters, when I originally started work on it, was in a very bad state of disrepair. Roof was falling off of one end of it and was just about to collapse. We had a couple of large cranes pick the roof up, get it all back straight again, put back the original fireplaces, took out any type of rot that was there and put back period wood, so it all looks like the original slave quarters. The large mule barn had one end blown out during a hurricane. The other end, gable end, was just about to fall down. We took both of those out, built everything back, same type of construction, which was post and beam construction, re-siding, put all brand new doors, windows, etc. in it, matching what was there as close as we could, taking all the stalls out, etc. Lead abated everything that was out there to get rid of all the old lead paint and everything, and put everything back together, and basically that's how we completed everything. What I enjoyed most about this project was taking structures that were in a serious state of disrepair and bringing them back to life so others could benefit from it and learn from the past. While the structural work was being completed, the inside was taking shape. Natalie Larson is one of the experts who helped bring the Southern Plantation back as a private home that shows something of the everyday life and culture of the pre-war Civil War period.
Welcome to the Brian Grimes home. Based on history of the house, we've decorated as to what it could have looked like for an eastern North Carolina plantation family like General Grimes's. Some of the furnishings when he lived here could have been old family pieces. Some could have been of the style of the time. The paint colors, the types of furniture, the textiles, and decoration details are based on research and properties similar to this one, done by historians and art specialists. The passage or entrance is one of the oldest parts of the house, as are the rooms directly to the right and left and above them. You see the door has been painted to look like wood grain, which was common in earlier times to imitate various woods. The window is called a fanlight because it's shaped like an open-hand fan. The lock is a very old one and has been in use for a long time. Baseboards were sometimes painted to fool the eye, to look like marble. The stairway leads to the bedrooms above. This is the parlor. This is probably the most expensive room in the house in the period. This is a room where the family would gather before or after a meal or with important visitors. The wallpaper is interesting in this room because it's taken from a sample book. People would have chosen wallpaper from very small samples from local merchants. This particular paper is hand printed using pear wood blocks. On the wall is an early print of North Carolina. It's dated about 1798. This is something that General Grimes's father would have been very familiar with, and we thought since this is the oldest part of the house, that would have been consistent. Slipcovers were used year-round, not just in the summer, and they were usually checked fabrics, and they were used to color coordinate with the textile underneath them. We've set up this room as General Grimes's office. There is a door to the outside, so it's reasonable to think he could have seen workers, tradespeople, and business associates here. The plantation desk especially is something he could have used as he kept track of business. It's from the border area of Virginia and North Carolina. We have included items that he could have brought back from the war, like the canteen and the gun cap box, and this map case. This binoculars case is tarred, which was done for waterproofing. This room is set up as a bedroom. The red painted bed dates from the 1840s or 50s. The quilt is a cotton star pattern from the late 19th century. Compared to the furnishings of the main house, the slave quarters would have been very different. The furniture is simpler and older and would have been unpainted. The coverings for the beds would have been scrap quilts or old plain blankets. My favorite part of working on this project was being able to work with so many other great professionals. There were archaeologists and architectural historians and contractors. There were people who just studied paint analysis for us and researched a lot of the architectural details. I think this is a great gift for the community. It's a great example of North Carolina history, and it's great to have been a part of it.